I mean, I know what happened to North Carolina after NAFTA was signed. And by the way, who signed NAFTA, right? Bill Clinton signed NAFTA. So people said, oh, the economy was pretty good then, except the person that happened to follow him, and for many years thereafter, we got killed because he signed NAFTA, and our jobs and our manufacturing left this country like nobody would believe. And all you have to do is take a look at North Carolina and all of these old places where you see the buildings today, and those people have been gone for many years. That was NAFTA that was signed by Bill Clinton. All right, so are you ready? So this is called the snake, right? Al Wilson, the great Al Wilson. And it's really sort of amazing because it just works. And what you have to do is think about what we're getting into. We're letting in hundreds of thousands of people into our country. We don't know anything about them. We do know, though, it's going to be trouble. And again, it doesn't take a lot. It doesn't take a lot. It takes 2%, 1%. It takes 2 people. It doesn't take a lot. But it's going to be much more than that. And we are going to see things over the next number of years like you've never seen. I really believe, unless I'm elected president, I really believe that. Because we're going to be very, very smart, and we're going to be very, very strong, and we're not going to be the fools anymore. So, this is called the snake. Who, by the way, I rarely do it, but who has heard it? Who has heard it? Should I do it again? So think of your border. Think of people pouring in. Think of people pouring in who you know are going to be trouble at some point, okay? You know they're going to be trouble, all right? Okay, let's go. Ready? Are you ready? That's all right. Get them out. That's all right. Get them out. I love our protesters. The only way the cameras show what massive numbers of people we have is if we have our protesters. All right, take care of our protesters. Please don't hurt our protester. He's a single protester. That's right. Go home to mommy. Bye. Bye. Okay. This is called... Right. Okay, let's go. Ready? Think about your border, folks. Think about your border. Think about people coming into our country. We're going to protect our country. On her way to work one morning, down the path along the lake, a tender-hearted woman saw a poor, half-frozen snake. His pretty-colored skin had been all frosted with the dew. Oh, well, she said, I'll take you in, and I'll take care of you. Take me in, oh, tender woman. Take me in, for heaven's sake. Take me in, oh, tender woman, sighed the broken snake. She wrapped him up all cozy in a curvature of silk, then laid him by the fireside with some honey and some milk. Now she hurried home from work. That night she soon arrived. Ah, don't worry about it. Get him out. USA, 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 USA. All right, get him out. Thank you, officer. Thank you. Don't hurt him. Don't hurt him. Don't hurt him. You know, I get criticized every once in a while. They think Trump is too tough. I'm not tough. Please don't hurt that person. That's a very nice person, please. Okay, gone? Gone? Are they gone? Yeah? Good. All right, good. Now she hurried home from work that night. As soon as she arrived, she found that pretty snake she'd taken, and it's been revived. Take me in, oh tender woman, take me in for heaven's sake. Take me in, oh tender woman, sighed the broken snake. Now she clutched him to her bosom. You're so beautiful, she cried. But if I hadn't brought you in by now, my gosh, you would have died. She stroked his pretty skin, and then she kissed him and held him tight. But instead of saying thank you, that snake gave her a vicious bite. Take me in, oh tender woman. Take me in, for heaven's sake. Take me in, oh tender woman, sighed that vicious snake. I saved you, cried the woman, and you bit me, heavens why? You know your bite is poisonous, and now I'm going to die. Oh, shut up, silly woman, said the reptile with a grin. You knew damn well I was a snake before you took me in. So, folks, I mean, we know what we're getting into, and we keep doing it because we don't learn. But we know what we're getting into, and we can't let it happen. We can't let it happen. So when I started on this quest, yeah, get them out. They're a little noisy over there. Get them out of here, will you, please? Get them out. So far in a crowd of like 9,000 or 10,000 people, we have 2 people that made a little noise. Front page of every paper, Trump rally. Let me tell you, folks, my rallies are the safest place on earth. The safest. The safest. So when I started this quest, and I didn't know I was going to do it, and I was helped by a lot of people, and you remember Indiana? Remember, Bobby Knight said, I want to endorse you, Mr. Trump. You're what we need as president. And boy, that was going to be the firewall. Boy, did we win Indiana big league, right? That was like Richard Petty. That was something. But we started, and who knew what it would be? We had all these people like this Charles Krauthammer. Oh, forget it. I'll never forget. Before I announced, I listened to Charles Krauthammer. And it's like a month before. And I told my wife, I said, boy, this sounds tough. He said, this is the single finest group of Republican leaders, perhaps in the history of the Republican Party. This is a great, great group of people. And then he goes, I think he might have said, like, Donald Trump's not going to run, is he? So I said, you know, if these people, I didn't know most of them. I said, if these people are so good, what am I running for? And then one by one, boom, boom, boom. We start off with 17 people, boom, 16, 15, 12, 9. Then we go 8, 7. Then we go 5. Then we go 4. Then we go 3. And we had 3 left. And I'll never forget, I had one state where I won like 38% of the vote. And Krauthammer and some others said, he has not broken 50%. I mean, I had like, I think 14 or 15 people, right? 14 or 15. How the hell do you break 50%? I mean, I think that's like, I must have gotten a record. So you have 17 people, you're down to 15 or 14, and then you get this massive number, whatever it might be. And they say, he has not broken 50%. Who the hell's Abraham Lincoln could not have broken 50%? Anyway, so then I won, and I kept winning and winning. And then we get to New York. And you know what's nice about New York? New York is tough, and they know me, right? Isn't it nice that the people that know me the best, the people from New York, they gave me a massive victory, and we still had 3 people. We had 3 people. And I got almost 62% of the vote. Think it with 3 people. You know, in politics, with 2 people, if you get 55 to 45, they call that a massive victory, right? I had 3 people. I had almost 62%. Won almost every county. But before that, I had Florida. You remember Florida, right? So Florida, and I was against Marco Rubio, sitting senator, and very, very, very low energy Jeb Bush, right? Right? I only say that because he signed the pledge, but he hasn't endorsed me. I don't really want his endorsement, but you know what, folks? When you sign a pledge, you're supposed to live up to the pledge, even if you don't like Donald. I mean, he's got good reason not to like me, I guess. Don't forget, he raised in his fund, his PAC, $168 million. So think of this. I spent the least, and I got the best result in a landslide. Isn't that what you want as your president? I spent the least, and I got the best result. I remember New Hampshire. I love New Hampshire. New Hampshire, in fact, yesterday I was in New Hampshire, gave the speech on what happened this horrible, horrible weekend in Orlando. And New Hampshire's been a special place because that was my first victory. And I remember so vividly talking to the people of New Hampshire. We had these massive crowds. It's different because you don't have rooms as big as this for the most part. But people, thousands of people were in the room and then standing outside. And I'd meet with smaller groups and I'd say, well, what's the big problem? They'd say heroin. I say, heroin? What are you kidding? Heroin? They said, it's a massive problem in New Hampshire. It's a massive problem all over. And it comes in through the southern border. And that's why we're going to build the wall. And by the way, the Border Patrol agents, 16,500 Border Patrol agents 4 weeks ago endorsed Donald Trump. First time in their history that they endorsed a presidential candidate, okay? First time in their history. So I'll never forget it. And I said to the people of New Hampshire, we are going to work hard. Number one, we're going to stop it. And number two, we're going to work hard to get your youth and everybody else hooked on this crap, get them better, because we have to make them better. There's so many people, and it comes in and it pours in. And, you know, I was saying before, so during the debates, I didn't know about debating, I didn't know, and yet I was center stage for every single debate. And according to Drudge, who, by the way, is an incredible man, a credible guy, according to Drudge, and Time Magazine, and Slate, and like 7 others, they do polls now for everything. I think I've made polling a very important thing. I never used to hear about polls all of a sudden, because I like polls. But according to all of these online polls that are taken immediately after the debates, I won every single poll of every single debate. How did that happen, okay? And again, I was center stage, and it used to make me very angry when Fox and CNN, get them out. Get them out. Get them out of here, folks. You can get them out. Thank you. Don't hurt them. Be very, very kind. Be very, very gentle. We get criticized. We want to be very gentle. Unlike the people that we see outside where they're burning the American flags, folks, where they're burning the American flag. You can get him out. Thank you very much. Unless he wants to stay. He's got a very weak voice. If you want, you could stay. Thank you. Thank you. His parents are going to be so angry at him tonight. So I was center stage, and I was a little bit upset, whether it be Fox or CNN or any of them, ABC. I said, look, if I'm center stage, the only thing I ask for, I want an odd number. I don't want an even number. Because if it's an even number, we have 2 people center stage, and that's not fair. So I thought, but you know what I've done? I've done something because I am the messenger. I don't even want to say the leader of this group. We have this all over the United States, wherever we go. We went to Dallas. We went to 35,000 people in Mobile, Alabama. No matter where we go, we have the biggest crowds, far bigger than Bernie Sanders, who was, by the way, second in offer. But we have the biggest crowds, and what I am is the messenger. We have got a movement going, and it's a movement based on taking our country back and running our country intelligently, smartly, and being respected all over the world again. Because we're not respected right now by anybody. We're not respected by anybody. So I'm running against a person that I think is totally unfit and totally unqualified. And Bernie Sanders said this. Totally unqualified to be president. Now, a new book just came out by the Secret Service, the person that was with her. You have to hear what he said. I mean, I hope the book sells. I'm sure the mainstream media won't be writing much about the book. But it's a new book, and it says she doesn't have the judgment, she doesn't have the character, she was like a screaming maniac. Folks, we would be making one hell of a mistake. I'll tell you what, if Hillary Clinton becomes president, I don't know that our country will ever, ever come back. I mean it. Now, remember one thing, so important. Justice Scalia, who was a great guy, he died unexpectedly. So we have one slot already. And if liberal Democrats get in and put the people that they want in there, it's a whole different world, including guns, by the way. You can forget about your guns. You can forget about your guns. The NRA endorsed me. The NRA a few weeks ago endorsed me. I believe it's the earliest endorsement in the history of these races. And we are going to protect our Second Amendment. We're going to protect our Second Amendment. Thank you. Thank you. Hillary Clinton effectively wants to abolish the Second Amendment. She wants to take your guns away. And believe me, she's trying to get out of that position. Take a look at what she said. Just like what she said before I went to West Virginia. A few weeks before, she said, we're going to take away the mines and we're going to take away the jobs from the miners. How about that for brains? And then 4 weeks later, she's in West Virginia and she didn't register too well there, folks. We're going to bring back our miners. We're going to bring back our jobs into this country. We're going to bring back our jobs into this country. Big league. So here's the story. We have a country that we love, but we have a country that's gone astray. We don't win anymore. We don't win with Sergeant Bergdahl. Remember Sergeant Bergdahl? Remember? We get Bergdahl. This is a typical Obama trade. I call him the 5-for-1 president. We get Bergdahl, and they get 5 of the worst killers that they've wanted for 9 years, who are now back on the battlefield trying to kill everybody, including this group right here. We're not going to let it happen, folks. We're not going to let it. This is the deal we make. And by the way, probably 5 and maybe 6 people, wonderful young military people, were killed looking for Bergdahl after he deserted, okay? Think of it. Now, in the old days, you know what would have happened to him, right? Quickly. In the old days. 10 years ago, it wouldn't have been pretty, but he would have lived. And today, they're talking about maybe nothing's going to happen to him. Because this is where we've come. This is where we've come to. We cannot continue to be politically correct. We cannot continue with this. What's happening to our country is devastating, folks. It's devastating, and it's embarrassing, and our lives will never be the same. That's why what we have to do is in November, we have to get out and vote. And this state's looking very good. I have to tell you, North Carolina, we're looking very good. Just like we did in the primary. I remember in the primary, I wasn't really favored to win, but I remember I went to make a speech in North Carolina, in the Charlotte area, and the crowd was like unbelievable. And I came back to my people, I said, you know, I think we're going to win. That's not like the second place finisher crowd. And we won easily, as we did in many, many other states. And by the way, speaking of that, we have received more votes in the primaries than any other person in the history of the Republican Party. Think of that. Pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. Almost 14 million votes. We've received almost 14 million votes. Think of it. I mean, that's pretty good. I'm very proud of that. Ronald Reagan, who we love, we received many more than Ronald Reagan. More than Nixon, more than Bush, more than Eisenhower, Dwight D. Eisenhower. I mean, he won the Second World War, folks, you know, I mean. So we're very proud of that. In addition to that, the Republican Party was up almost 70% in terms of voter turnout. And the Democrats, despite all you hear about Bernie, by the way, it looks like Bernie's gone, folks. Looks like he's gone. Looks like he's gone. Crazy Bernie, I guess he's gone. So now we'll only have Pocahontas to think about, because I think, I think maybe it could be Pocahontas. I hope so. I hope it's Pocahontas. They said, Mr. Trump, that's a terrible thing. Would you apologize? No, they want me to apologize. They want me to apologize. I have to. No. But I did. I did. Can you believe it? I apologized. I said, I'd like to apologize to Pocahontas. It's true. The great Pocahontas. So, folks, we have to win. We don't win anymore. We don't win on trade. We don't win with the military. We can't beat ISIS. We don't win anymore. We're going to start winning like you've never seen before. We're going to win with our military. We're going to kick the hell out of ISIS. We have no choice. We're going to win on trade. We're going to make great deals. We're going to bring our money back. We're going to bring our jobs back. We're not going to let people take our companies so easily anymore. We're going to win on trade. We're going to win at the border. We're going to build a wall. Mexico's going to pay for the wall. They're going to be very happy to pay for it. They're going to be very, very happy to pay for the wall, believe me. They make so much money off us. That wall is peanuts compared to the money. Don't forget, a few weeks ago, Vicente Fox, he was the former president of Mexico. And years ago, he was saying, they will never build a wall. Talking about me. They would never build a wall. Well, then, a few weeks ago, he said, there is no way that we're going to pay for that. And then he said F-bomb. He used the F-bomb on live television, on CNN. He used the F-bomb. Can you imagine if I used the F-bomb? It would be like the electric chair, right? I get the electric. He used the F-bomb. There's no way. The anger and the hatred. There's no way that Mexico is going to pay for that F-bomb wall. And I was so happy. First, I was surprised that he used the word. I figured this is going to be a big scandal all over the world. And the next day, nobody said anything about it, right? That he used the word. But I said, you know what's the good news? A few years ago, he said, there's no way we're going to allow the wall to be built. Well, now he's given up on that. Now all we have to do is get him to pay for it, which will be so easy. So easy. So easy. Don't forget, the wall is a fraction, a little fraction of the cost of these yearly trade deficits. So we're going to do fine, and we're going to have a great relationship with Mexico. We're going to have a very good relationship. We're going to have a better relationship with Mexico and China than we have right now in all of them. Look at China. They've ripped us left. They've ripped us right. They've taken our jobs. They've taken our manufacturing. They dump their product all over the place, and they don't even like us. And what do? They go to the South China Sea, and they build one of the great and big fortresses of the world. They're not supposed to be doing that, folks. They have no respect whatsoever. Nobody respects our country anymore. So here's the story. We're going to win with our military. We're going to win at the border. We're going to win on trade. We're going to save our Second Amendment. So important. So important. We're going to appoint great judges that are going to keep our country running, and running maybe even better than ever before. Because the next president could have 5, probably 3, could go to 4, but you could even have 5 judges, 5 justices of the Supreme Court. And I already put a list out, and everybody's very impressed with that list. So what we're going to do, folks, we're going to start winning. We're going to repeal and replace Obamacare, which is a total disaster. And if you look at your premiums, and if you looked at your deductible, it's so high that unless you lead a really long, horrible death, you're never going to get to use it. The deductibles are so high, it's a disgrace. Obamacare is a major failure. We repeal it, we replace it. We repeal Common Core. We bring our education local. And this is for the people of North Carolina, because you folks were great to me. It was early on, and we won big. We're going to start winning again in this country. You're going to respect your president, and I don't care so much about that, but you're going to again respect your country and what's happening in your country. And we are going to start winning again. We're going to win at every single level. We're going to win so much that you're going to beg me, please, Mr. President, we're winning too much. We can't stand it, Mr. President. We cannot stand it. Please, a little less winning, Mr. President. And I'm going to say there's no way I'm going to do that. We're going to win, 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 and we're going to make America great again. That's going to happen. Thank you. I love you, North Carolina. I love you. Thank you, North Carolina. Thank you.